This is a First Warn Tri-City Severe Weather Alert. Here is Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle.
Coming on the air with some breaking news, a thunderstorm here pushing through the south side of Bristol. So we come on the air here with this news here. This is a strong thunderstorm. It is not severe. But a couple things while tracking this thunderstorm and some storm reports have caught my eye enough that I think this is a storm that we should go on the air with. So that is what we are doing. First off, I want to note this storm is moving to the south side of Bristol through Bristol, Tennessee right now. And it's heading towards South Holston Lake. If you're on the lake, this has lots of lightning. Got to get off the lake. This storm is going to have some small hail with it, but what is catching my eye the most is when I go to the velocity entry. We're seeing an area of broad rotation in the southeast part of Bristol, Tennessee, and a report is coming in from meteorologist Kit Alexander over at WCYB. It looks like he just posted a picture from near the Virginia Intermont College looking toward this storm, and it does look like potentially a rotating wall cloud has been spotted within this storm. So no immediate tornado within this, but some definitely scary looking clouds and maybe a wall cloud with this storm as we watch this push off to the east towards South Holston Lake along Highway 421 near Holston Valley. No matter what, this storm is going to have some very strong winds with it, so we want to get ahead of it here and go ahead and give you your first warning on this storm here as it continues to head off to the east. I felt like the best case scenario was to come on the air with this storm and treat it like it's severe just because of that broad rotation, the reported wall cloud. There's been some storm reports, some public storm reports of some tree limbs being knocked down within this here back to the west when this storm was over parts of Bristol, Tennessee, and even when it was all the way back in the Kingsport area. So I thought the best thing to do for this storm was to come on the air and get coverage. This is the only storm that's really near severe limits right now. We have some, we'll start in southwest Virginia because those are the next strongest of storms in the Grundy, now east of Grundy into parts of down into Russell County in Virginia. And again, but these storms not looking very severe right now. Some small hail and gusty winds up to 40 to 50 miles an hour possible. And then some more heavy rain in the Johnson City, Jonesboro, Hampton area. Again, those are non-severe, not even really strong thunderstorms there. My main concern is the south side of Bristol, where I'm watching this strong thunderstorm here for the south side of Bristol, heading toward Holston Valley, South Holston Lake. It's going to eventually head toward Shady Valley in Johnson County. So this is a first heads up for Shady Valley. Again, watching some hail potential within this storm. The main threat with this storm is going to be those gusty to damaging winds, potentially to 50 to 60 miles an hour if you see the strongest wind within this storm. And again, we do have a possibility that you're going to see a rotating wall cloud within this. Will it produce a tornado? Likely not. There is some rotation aloft in this storm that is producing, looks to be from the picture, a possible rotating wall cloud. So as I continue to watch this storm, and the rotation weakened a little bit on the right on this last scan, which is good. But no matter what, the rotation keeps us indicative of those strong winds aloft, and radar indicating winds up to around 50 miles an hour within this storm. But I do believe those winds are being enhanced a little bit because of where we've had that rotation. And again, those lowerings on this storm will help bring those strong winds kind of closer down to the surface. So that's the thunderstorm I'm watching. Do want to note we have some flash flood warnings, one for eastern Smith County until 8:45 p.m. And then another flash flood warning for parts of western Dickinson and southwest Buchanan County. This will go until 9:30 p.m. for some flash flooding concerns in those areas. The rain has stopped so far in those areas. The Smith County area might get one more little batch of rain. Again, there is still some more scattered development to the west, but I think the main any severe storms we see would probably be with this area storm that is moving through right now as we speak. So again, let's go back to our wind velocity because I think the wind is the biggest threat with the storm on the eastern side of Sullivan County, heading toward the South Holston Lake and Holston Valley, eventually into far northern Carter County where the storm might flip there, then into western Johnson County towards Shady Valley. Eventually, this storm will move toward the Mountain City and Laurel Bloomery area as this strong storm continues to push through Sullivan County and then into far northern Carter County and into parts of Johnson County in Tennessee. We will continue to watch this storm very closely as it pushes east, and we're going to stay with this until we believe that the damaging wind threat has subsided within it. Again, No severe thunderstorm warning on this storm. I want to give you a heads up because we've had some reports of tree damage and reports of a lowering of the cloud base within this storm. There was some stronger rotation just a scan or two ago. It's still very broad right now, and it was broad here, but there was a couple of scans of some kind of tighter rotation here, just about three scans of that. So we decided and then got to picture the rotating wall cloud of what looked to be, to me, like it was possibly a rotating wall cloud, combined with the storm reports within this for some tree limbs coming down. We thought it was a course of least regret best to come on the air and keep you updated. So that is what we are doing at 6:46 on a Wednesday evening. I'm First Warn Tri-Cities Chief Forecaster Skylar Doyle. We currently have strong thunderstorms moving through the region, and that is why we are on the air. Again, none of these right now are severe. An isolated severe storm possible, and um, we're just watching the area here in Bristol very closely here because of or now on the eastern side of Sullivan County, really much out of Bristol, toward Emmett, heading toward South Holston Lake, Holston Valley, and Friendship, Camp Tom Howard as well, and then to Shady Valley, Upper Shady, Harmon, and into the northern part of Carter County could get clipped by the storm, including the Sadie area. There's another storm developing, another downpour developing near the intersection there of 11E and 19E, near Childress and Bunker Hill and Pine, just to the east now of Pine Flats. More heavy downpours from Chelford to Jonesboro to Johnson City up to Hampton. Lots of thunder, lightning, maybe some gusty winds up to 30 to 40 miles an hour, and lots of heavy rain in this area here. Storms heading here through the Johnson City and Hampton area. More storms up to the north into southwestern parts of Virginia, from St. Paul up to southeast Dickinson County into eastern parts of Cannon County. These storms could have some small hail and some gusty winds of up to 40 miles an hour potentially. And again, we're watching these storms closely. The thing I'm watching with the Bristol cell is when in the eastern part of Sullivan County is if this storm collapses, it's going to bring all that wind and all that hail down. And so, another radar source we have here, which I will switch to right now, is indicating a potential 1-inch size hail, which is quarter size hail. It would make the storm severe if this is actually falling. Again, that's one radar source indicating potentially 1-inch hail. And if I turn on my hail tracker, yeah, you're seeing right there where that lines up those brighter colors. Those yellows and reds are popping up here in the hail tracker. There is the potential that we could have some 1-inch hail within this storm to the sides, quarters, maybe nickels here. But again, the gusty wind probably the main threat. But again, some isolated instances of nickel to quarter size hail can't entirely be ruled out within this storm on the eastern side of Sullivan County. So let's head back to the other radar source. I had some more towns on here as it heads toward Holston Valley. They'll clip the far southern part of Washington County, Virginia, like Goose Pimple Junction area, into Painter Springs, Twin Oaks here as it continues to push off to the east. And again, right now it's just got a strong thunderstorm alert on it. Nothing severe within this. But again, there's been some trees reported down. There was what appeared to be possibly a rotating wall cloud within the storm. And from the picture I saw, it looked like a rotating wall cloud. It was definitely a lowering, and it was a picture, so it was hard to see if it was actually rotating. But it did look like a wall cloud to me from the picture. And then, well, there was pretty good rotation on radar at that time. Doesn't look like we had any tornadoes, and we're not expecting tornadoes today, which is good news. But again, we could just have some winds of 50 miles an hour, maybe isolated spots to 60 miles an hour in this storm. That has caused some tree limbs to go down, according to a storm reporting source of MPing. So again, we are watching these very closely as they push east. The strongest storm on the board I'll do a storm track for. It is pushing off to the east at about 30 miles an hour, and it will um, move into Johnson County. Let me actually fix this where I is. It's pushing at about 30 miles an hour, and I'm just going to push out the strongest part of this storm. Camp Tom Howard at 7:02, Shady Valley at 7:09, Holy Hill, excuse me, at 7:22, Mount City around 7:24, Laurel Bloomery at 7:28, and Grayson at 7:36. It will eventually head toward the North Carolina border, and again cannot rule out 50 to 60 mile an hour winds and some penny to nickel to maybe even quarter size hail within this storm as it continues to push off to the east. So again, this storm is near severe limits. Technically not at severe limits just yet, but it is near severe limits. Another storm report coming in here from a viewer. Thank you very much for this. A tree down on Old Jonesboro Road near Weaver Pike at Bristol. I will make sure that we get that over to the National Weather Service uh, for so they know that. So again, uh, we will continue to watch this very closely. This Bristol storm here as I send that report over to the National Weather Service in Morristown. Here for the storm here on the now east side of Sullivan County towards South Holston Lake. So again, we will watch this very closely as it continues to push off to the east. Here in Holston Valley, South Holston Lake, Shady Valley, this storm heading toward you. And again, when this storm collapses, it is going to bring down a lot of wind and a lot of heavy downpours and some hail with it. So again, that is why we're watching this closely. And again,